does everything gotta be so heavy? Knock you down when you're down already. Oh, so much to carry. Why does everything gotta be so heavy? All the drama lately, yeah, it's overrated. So unnecessary, yeah, I just can't take this feeling anymore. Leave it at the door. I've been falling over, too much on my shoulders. You can only think so much before you break down. All I really need is space to breathe. Why does everything gotta be so heavy? Knock you down when you're down already. Oh, so much to carry. Why does everything gotta be so heavy? Stop, just wait a minute. I just need a second to regain my peace of mind before I explode. 'Cause there's a lot of things I can't control. I can't control. Why does everything gotta be so heavy? Knock you down when you're down already. Oh, so much to carry. Why does everything gotta be so heavy? Ooh, to the people in the back, all the way to the front row, front row. Ooh, now let me hear it back. Sometimes I gotta let go, let go. Ooh, to the people in the back, all the way to the front row, front row. Ooh, now let me hear it back. Sometimes I gotta let go, let go. Ooh, to the people in the back, all the way to the front row, front row. Ooh, now sing it on back. Sometimes I gotta let go, let go. Ooh, to the people in the back, all the way to the front row, front row. Ooh, now sing it on back. Sometimes
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Let's Get Live. Hey, friends. There is nothing like a last-minute computer reboot, is there? Isn't that just like the best? Yes, indeed. And then my usual music just decided it just didn't want to play for me. So I had to find a new song really, really quickly. And yeah, anyway. Don't worry, everything is totally fine. Totally fine. Troy, I'm really sorry to have to tell you, but I am not Doc Rock, your content creator coach. I am Keely Dunn of Discord for Creators, and this is the last ever Keely Dunn LGL takeover. Because literally I age 5 years, at least. Every time I do this, 5 years. I can see it in my face. I can see all the wrinkles and my hair. And my soul ages. It's very hard. Okay, today we are talking about something that I'm very, very prepared in. No, actually, I'm excited about today because it's going to really stretch me as a presenter, as a live streamer, because it's not a topic I've ever tried to talk about in this sort of format before. It's a bit academic, but what I want to do is make sure that there's a ton of engagement with you guys. So we are talking about finding your true fans through engagement today, which means I'm going to be very engaging. I am going to ask you a lot of questions. And if there's anybody who is listening to this presentation, and I know who you are, I'm not just going to invite anybody to hang with me on Doc's stream because, you know, what if you're like better looking than me or something, and then everybody's sad. But I am going to open it up if there's somebody who wants to come in and talk to me about their experiences building true fans and things that they've tried for engagement, or they want to get some ideas on how they can get better engagement within their community. Maybe it's on your live streams. Maybe it's engagement with your created content that is a bit more static. Maybe it's in your courses or things like that. I'd love to talk to you about all of those things. So that's what our topic is today. And it's tying into how we started off with Kali on Tuesday. Kali's presentation, so cool. If you haven't had a chance to watch it, please do go back and, 2 times it if you have. Like, I'm not mad. I'm not mad if you go 2 times. I probably sound really, really smart when I speak that quickly. That's what I find. People who can string their sentences together, and I play them at 2 times speed. I'm like, wow, that intellect to be able to keep up with themselves. Yeah. I'm easily fooled. But go back and give that a watch, because Kali and I explored some ways in which she used engagement in maybe a sense that you're not particularly aware of, or you didn't think about it that way, but engagement with her community over her experience in CETA to get to know her audience better. And that to me is a big component of what we're going to talk about today with True Fans, and a big component of building your community. So we're going to get into that in a minute, but I am going to start off with some engagement. So I am going to go through and say hello to people, but I want to ask you the following things. I want to ask you, first of all, with the title, I said True Fans. So I'd like to know, in your experience and things that you've learned and things you've heard about, how many true fans do you think a content creator needs to be doing good, doing okay? If content creation is your business, if it's part of your business or part of your revenue activities as a human being, how many do you think somebody needs? And if you have any questions about what a true fan is, or what the creator economy is, please slap them in here right now. Put a Q colon in front of that question, and I will make sure as best I can to get through it. Paul's already put the prompt in here, and unfortunately I can't search in this. Actually, can I? I think I can filter. Oh goodness, because I'm using a bit of a different system in order to get over this hump of how I'm streaming to Doc's channel. So, I mean, maybe I can filter, but I'm just going to be able to look. But the Q colon will really help me. But please do put in, how many true fans do you think you need as a content creator to really sustain a community? And Doc, again, you look fabulous today. You missed me. Who's you were here? I'm sure that meant wish. I wish I was there too. But apparently somebody has to keep this whole thing going. Huh? Somebody's got to do the grind. And apparently it's me. Okay. Let's see. There's Gretchen checking in. Good to see you. I'm definitely not a new host. I wonder how many people do tune in and go, wait a minute. That's not Doc. And no, Rich, I lost the comment because I had to reboot, but no beard, because who needs that? Good morning, Go Johnny, 2021. Does that mean you don't go this year? I'm concerned because I think you should go every year. What about next year? What happened in 2019 and 2020? Were you going? I don't know. Tell me. I know. Doc's been doing a lot of changes, a lot of self-improvement. So there you go. Let's see. There's a guy who sounds like you. Oh, okay. There's a doppelganger, I guess, in Washington. Fantastic. Everybody has one. If you've ever met your doppelganger, I want to know in the comments. I haven't met mine, but people have told me they've seen Akili out there. But there you are. Okay. Let's see. Who else is here? Thank you very much, Glenda. I appreciate the encouragement today, especially because I'm even more flustered than usual. I'm pretty sure I start off every live stream going, man, what a Tuesday this is, or what a Saturday, and or whoa, I'm a little bit flustered. Every time. Every time. I think I actually work myself into a state now. That's all it is. This is the best though. Doc looks like me. And he's explaining to Troy that he is in Seattle. Oh my goodness. Yes, it was amazing. So I really think it's worthwhile going back to that. Kali was also on the Ecamm Live Network on Thursday, launching her mindset, her 7 days of mindset. What was the title? Paul will know. Paul will help me. He'll straighten it out. That's what he does. To actively participate as individuals in May being Mental Health Awareness Month. Kali led everybody through a really cool, engaging quiz, and also a mindset a meditation activity. I'm just going to call it meditation. A meditation activity that was really, really nice. So there you go. Victoria Sharp, thank you. Good to see you. And Laura Williams is here. Fantastic. Simply Ops. You almost sound normal at 2 times. Yeah, you do. I love it. Oh, where's all my sound buttons? Oh, that one's not going to work. You know, it's just how this day's going. Miss Eileen, the Queen, is in the house. And there we go. Dina, 1,000 true fans is the first answer. Absolutely. Thank you for participating. What do you always say? Thanks for playing. But that sounds dismissive when it comes out of my mouth somehow, so I'm not going to say that. I'm going to do something else. See you, Doc. Thanks for stopping in and making sure that I didn't totally wreck the place yet again. That's very sweet. Adam's Exploit is here, and he agrees that 1K is the number of true fans that you need. And K-Walk is also on the 1,000 tip, the professor. JFK, if I try to say this, I'm sorry. Like, I'm way too white. I don't want to butcher it. Respect for gorgeous accents, and that is definitely one of them. So, hi. That's all I'm going to say. There you go. Speak the truth. I know, right? Mindfulness. Thank you. This is going to go really well. You can tell I'm just so collected. I'm so mindful right now. There you go. Eileen, you're not sure if the number of fans is important for you. It's the quality. Yes. In other words, they need me and I need them. This is fantastic. Eileen, if I could star this because I was, doing comments in Ecamm, I would, but I can't. But I'm going to try not to forget this one because this is fantastic. And yes, Kali has been killing it. Here is the link. Thank you very much, Paul, to go back and watch the Mindfulness to Win the Day and that sort of thing. No, it doesn't. It's me. Have you met me? There you go. Troy, a troubling trend recently has been false fans who use your content and identity against you to scam your followers and track down your residents, family, and wow. Okay. That's going down a whole nother road that I wasn't going to delve in, but I appreciate you raising that concern because there is a really there is another track, another bent that this can go, because scammers, and there's always going to be scammers, there's always going to be criminals, there's always going to be people who try to take advantage of other people's hard work, are doing all kinds of things on YouTube, impersonating channels and getting people to send their, to text them on Telegram, to send money to pay for shipping for free prizes. And that clearly there is no free prize coming in all of that. But this, Troy, what you're talking about goes even further. So that might be a topic that we need to explore in coming months. Doc, not me, because I'm never doing this again. We went over this. About how to do this securely. and in a way that helps your keeps you protected and keeps your audience and your community protected as well. So that is something good to. There you go. Pat Flynn wrote a book called Superfans, says Mr. Mike Shaw TV, and not that he read it or anything. Yeah, but guess what? Way too late. Yeah. There were. Wagwan. Wagwan. I don't know. I still don't think I've got it. There you go. And thank you, Paul, for putting up the link for the Breathe Out Challenge. Okay. Let's get into this a little bit. Thank you. I wanted to get those thoughts circulating. And what I'm really happy about is a lot of you have heard about this notion of true fans before, or super fans. And it's an idea that kind of walks in lockstep with the creator economy. And I'm going to explain why, because I'm going to talk about the different kind of economies that have arisen over the last few years, how we got to the point where the creator economy is where it is, and maybe where we've been shifting into for the next little while. I'm not going to go so far as to get into Web3 because I don't understand it yet. I'm trying to understand it, but I don't yet. So that's definitely that's going even to the next step into the future about communities and decentralized systems for economy and things like that. But let's work on what we've got in front of us. So, well, that's not a very sophisticated transition that's going through there. Maybe I needed to fix that up. But there we go. We're going to talk about the three economies just so we can get a basis and really understand the value of where we're going with this notion of true fans. So what we learned as we shifted out of the old school, everybody's employed, everybody has a tenured job that isn't very secure anyway, and you are executing a series of tasks for an employer, the first step that we kind of went into was the popularization of the gig economy. So the gig economy itself was a marketplace that was controlled by a central actor and is controlled by a central actor. And it's a turnkey services solution. You are literally the key that goes into the lock. And if you don't match up with that lock, it doesn't work. But the lock is there, and the services that you provide in this kind of economy are set. All the little jags in there, all the little turny things that the key has to turn. Words today, words. That's predetermined. And whether it's your key that goes in there and turns on the engine, or if it's somebody else's identical key that goes in there, doesn't matter. Doesn't make a single difference. You are just an identical key to everyone else. And in order to earn money in a gig economy, in this kind of turnkey solution, the only way to earn more money is to turn the lock more and more often. So performing the service over and over again. And so what you see from systems like Uber and delivery services and things like that is that those people, the freedom of not having a boss seems great, or not being employed and being able to say, all right, I'm a key and I'm ready to go from 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. on these particular nights, and to set your own times when you are going to turn the lock. There is some freedom in that, but there's nothing that differentiates you from anyone else, and you really can't grow in that role. Another form of gig economy might be to be nope, that's going to get into the next one, which is the marketplace. So I'm going to move into the next economy that a lot of us are still a big part of, and that's the marketplace economy. Now, when I talk about the marketplace economy and where its strengths and limitations are. This is not to say that this isn't somewhere that we want to be in right now, because there is a lot of merit and there's a lot of great things to be earned and learned in the marketplace economy style things. But we need to understand the game, right? We got it. It's okay to play the game as long as we're ahead of it. So the marketplace economy is, I used the YouTube icon to make it as an example. And that's because YouTube is a big, big marketplace for creators. Okay? You compete with everybody else to gain your audience, to gain your fans. And although you can create anything that can be published in video form, whether it's a 10-hour loop of a fireplace with some nice music in the background, whether it's a live stream like this, whether it's somebody watching you gardening or cooking in your kitchen and just listening to the sounds that you're doing, whether it's an interview with a bunch of people, whether it's somebody jumping out of a plane, like a Mr. Beast kind of person. But the ways in which you're able to monetize your community, to engage with your community, are set by and limited by that marketplace. So every time YouTube does something great, like here we have memberships, here we have gifting of memberships, we have this, we have that, they are setting the boundaries. They are setting the terms by which we as creators can engage with our communities, the ways we can provide them value, the ways that they can share in our value. It's necessary to have that level. And, social media really freed up the marketplaces so that we could find our people. So it's still a big component. It's still a big part, but YouTube and ad revenue and maybe the memberships that you can only provide membership value within the context of YouTube, which is basically providing them with more videos, it's probably not going to do the trick. And I think that's why for a lot of us, when we're on YouTube, we keep thinking about more. We're like, okay, we need to make more videos. We need to have more live streams. We need more subscribers. We need more comments. We need numbers in order to grow. That's the midway point between the gig economy and the creator economy. And luckily, this new form of community and value exchange in community grew out of every creator realizing that they didn't have to toe to another platform's notions of best ways to provide value. So the segment that we're all in, and the segment that I think is most important for us to be paying attention to right now and is most relevant.
Why does everything gotta be so heavy?
So the most relevant place we're going to pay attention to and where we find our true fans is in the creator economy. Now, I can tell that a lot of you in the comments have already found lots of people talking about it. There's Pat Flynn, there's all kinds of people. Somebody who I found recently who I'm really interested in how she's framing this discussion is Lee Chen. And I have some links that I will put in the description later. And maybe enterprising moderators who have the ability to insert live URLs could look up this particular individual and help out with all that. And they can, and you can check out this person, because Lee Chen probably 2 years ago was massively writing about the creator economy. And now she's actually moving into to Web3 because it is the next progression down the road. But what makes the creator economy so powerful and why it's so awesome for all of us is that we are monetizing and we're leveraging our individuality, because it's not about numbers. It's not about transactional relationships. It's about a form of intimacy and value exchange. So we're talking about, video courses and being a tutor and professional coaching and mentoring. And there's a slew of platforms now that have grown up to give us the chance to build our customer relationships in ways that you can't do in marketplace forums like Fiverr or Envato Elements if you're a graphic designer, or even YouTube if you're a video creator. These platforms allow you to engage your communities the way that you want so that you have the opportunity to grow some true fans. So let me just check my notes to make sure I'm not getting too confused. So it doesn't matter if you are a traditional coach like Doc is our content creator coach, or you're doing something like sailing around the world in a year and you're creating content based around that, which people in your community engage with, they watch, they learn, they're entertained, they're invested in your story, they take part in that. If you are providing after school activities in your, templates for after school activities for nationwide, so that schools can provide meaningful and fun, engaging things to do before the parents can come pick them up from school. Conference organizers, video game buddies who actually mentor video game players. So instead of smashing them down because they're not good enough in the video game, there's actually mentors now who help you learn how to play and how to succeed. You might be an animal rescue expert. Anything that you are individually passionate about and you can provide an individual experience about, that's where the creator economy comes in. It's a service that only you can create. It's not a service that Uber has created. It's your service that you created, and it's based around your uniqueness and what you are bringing to the table. So this is the opposite of a turnkey platform as it stands right now. And maybe in a decade, we're going to go even further that, it's so decentralized and so deplatformed that we have all these different methods and different ways of looking at it. It could go even further on that spectrum. I don't know. I'm not a prognosticator. But you're expanding your audience and differentiating yourself just based on who you are and your reflections, your experiences, and here's the kicker, the depth of your connection with the people in your community. And it's that depth and that interrelatedness that makes for a vibrant and valuable experience that you can truly use to sustain yourself as an individual. That's where the real value is. So for those of you who chimed in earlier, and you came to the answer of 1,000, that's a fantastic answer. So the whole idea was, most of where I've seen the notion kick out is from Kevin Kelly, who wrote in Wired back in 2008. And what he said was, if you have 1,000 true fans who would be willing to pay $100 a year for a variety of things that you provide them, whether it's a membership for $8.30. I think when I did the math earlier, that's what I got to. He'll give you $8 a month to be a part of your community and learning from you. If you have, or if you have like one workshop that you offer every year that somebody would want to sign up for $100, you have 1,000 of those true fans. Well, math, $100,000, and that's gross. Don't get me wrong, but a lot of the freedom in the creator economy comes from the relative lack of expense in providing your services to your community. That's a pretty good living. Like, I wouldn't mind that right now. I'm just saying. Like, I wouldn't kick $100,000 out of bed for eating crackers. I'd be pretty happy. But this concept can be taken a step further and you flip those numbers. So what people are talking about now is the notion that 100 true fans is all you need. And if you have an audience of 100 people who love to tune in and watch everything you have to say, who want to be a part of what you're doing, they would be willing to invest $1,000 a year in a variety of ways. Maybe it's $83 a month for a membership. Maybe it's a $50 membership, and then there's some merch, some products that come off that. But $1,000 per year is nothing. Is very reachable for 100 people who truly get value from being a part of your docosphere, as it were. A term that I coined last week that I hope really worked out. And when Li Chen explained this in the podcast and the articles that I read about it, is what she's saying is that $100 a year is really just a form of altruism. And with 1,000 people, there's only so much real engagement you can have with those people. So what you're counting on is your community saying, I like you. You know what? I like you. And I want you to keep on going. So the Patreon model and buy me a coffee and Venmos and other kind of tip jars, absolutely. It's a good way to get that. But you're relying on people's altruism to keep you going, and there's not really a flow back to you. And this is what I've been learning with my own adventures in the creator economy and with my own community with primarily FH umpires, because that's where it's, that's my group that's more highly developed now, is that it's not about the one way here, have $8 a month because I like you. It's about the community growing in value because of everything they can exchange and they can learn together. So we're looking at 100 fans, 100 true fans who get tremendous value and benefit from being around. They get premium content and a community that they can't get anywhere else, because it's you leading the way, and it's your people who are like you but aren't you, who also believe in the same values, the same principles. They have the same goals. They're trying to get to the same place. And they get tangible results out of that. So if you can provide that in your community experience, 100 true fans is easier to do. So I'm going to check in on the comments because I've been talking for a bit, stringing my sentences together, and I'd like to hear your feedback on all of this. JFK, you've got, let me turn this on. Your 10 true fans are the folks that keep turning into your potato quality keyboard playing clips. Hey, you've got to start. You have got a start. There you go. The gig economy is more prevalent based on region. Yeah, it's absolutely a regionalized phenomenon, and it comes from having a market big enough that a turnkey solution can be successful in there. So that's a really good point. I like that. I can fix something in post. I hope I can fix everything in post. There you go. How do you spell her name, Eileen? It's Li Chen. Oops. I think I can type right in here. Li Chen. Let's see. There it is. I'm learning how to do stuff on the fly. So that might be the same person, Paul. I'm not sure, and I'm not going to click on it because I've been clicking on all the wrong buttons so far. So I'm not going to do that. Oh, Li Jin. I'm cut off. Thank y'all. Okay. Yes, we got it. Okay. And yep, the 1K. They like me. They really like me. Yes. And Homesick Mac here. 1,000 fans is shooting too high, but 100 regulars feels more realistic. Absolutely. It does feel a lot more reachable, right? Because, well, smaller numbers are easier to get. I'm at the point now with FH umpires, and I've been thinking about this critically because I was like, okay, if I'm going to develop this presentation, I'm going to talk to y'all and learn from your experiences about fandom. I needed to focus in, okay, what have I learned and what have I been doing in FH umpires? And I've realized that one of the things I've done is I've been focusing on that 1,000 and giving probably too much value for that level of, for that $1,000 or that $100 a year. So I have a fan membership that's $7 US a month that people get access to look at my clip library, which is a whole bunch of matches. And they get their own little section in the Discord server. So they've got their own exclusive area where they can talk to each other, they can get to know each other, and that sort of thing. My Prime membership level is $27 a month US, and they get a lot of one-on-one mentoring with me. And I've realized, I don't know how I'm going to get out of this, but I've realized that if I grow to the point where I have 1,000 of them, or let's say I need, I don't know, would I need 750 of them in order to make up that $100,000 a year? There are not enough hours in the day to provide the suite of mentoring services that I provide to those members and to grow to that extent. So in my desire to be, really giving and really helpful, I've probably been giving away too much for that level. And it's kind of a lot like the transition that we went through here as a community with Doc when he changed up his system at the beginning of the year. And it was trying to find that balance. How do I serve my true fans? How do I build those people so that I can really make an impact with that group? And maybe that group of true fans are the people who go out and they grow the greater community with me and for me, and we're creating something bigger together. So I've been playing with that idea in my head, and I'm wondering if any of you out there have had that kind of experience where you've started something and realized, oh boy, I'm giving too much. And if you have any ideas for me, I'm listening. You can go ahead and go into the LGL Discord server so we can, continue the conversation, because I think this is something that we should keep working on as we go through. And I'm not trying to subvert any of Doc's programs or anything, but this is a good conversation to have. If you are on this trajectory, if you're on this, this pathway of developing your community, this is what we do together, and this is the essence of the community. So, okay, I can start getting into the next topic now because we're sagging into that. Whoops, but this is the one. What is the recipe to whisk up a true fan? What are we looking for? How are we going to do this together? And one thing I think we can acknowledge, recognize, and appreciate is that I was going to say the wrong word, but the panini, our collective panini experience, Shelley Saves the Day taught me this the other day, has been to really accelerate the process of us as human beings who are active on the internet, who are consumers of content and creation on the internet. We are now gaining so much of our social experiences through content creators. It's about how we relate to them, what we're learning from them, and how we're growing together, and how we are meeting other people and growing our own social network through our content creators. This didn't happen 20 years ago, 40 years ago. You might have fans and maybe they built their fan bases, but it wasn't quite the same thing where so many tiny little niches could grow up around each other where people truly wanted to grow. Now, even in something like a hobby community, a content creator who makes just the most amazing crochet Sailor Moon pieces of crochet. Crochet works. Knit works. I should have worked this analogy out before I started talking. People who engage with that kind of content, with that content creator, they might not even want to knit their own Sailor Moon dolls. Okay, they might, that might not be their interest, but they're keenly interested in the process, and they're part of a community because they want to be knowledgeable about all the different editions of the dolls and which ones are more rare and which ones are considered higher quality and which ones, you know, you can sell on the marketplace and all those sort of things. The exclusivity of being a knowledgeable person in the community is something that everybody is working towards. Even when there isn't something that you would really pin as being educational in that point. I'm a part of Harry Mack's Discord server, and I don't go in there too often, but I certainly went in there to have a look at what he was doing to build his community, because if anybody has nailed this notion of not just 1,000 true fans, but 100 true fans, Harry Mack's done it. And he did it by creating a server. In part, he was doing the whole 1,000 fans by doing Omegle bars. And I've never been on Omegle, so if I get this wrong, don't shoot me. But he would go on for an hour, 5 hours, 10 hours. He had marathon sessions where he would be on this network where you just randomly connect with other people who are on Omegle and you start up a conversation. And what he would do is say, "Hi, can I do a freestyle rap for you? Give me 3 words." And he would then perform this freestyle rap, and he would gain a new fan. They'd be like, "Oh, give me your Instagram handle. I gotta follow you on YouTube. Oh my God, you got millions of followers on YouTube." And so he would gain fans. And then he realized, you know what? I need more than this, because I'm going broad, but I'm not enriching my own experience. I'm not getting what I want out of this whole community thing, because this is transactional. Getting a super chat on YouTube or whatever it's called on Twitch, it's a one-time transaction, and it's not giving him anything more than that transactional reward. So in his Discord server, he's got this bot, this tool where he has ciphers running all the time. And Doc's gonna kill me if I get this wrong. But a cipher is a small group of people who are freestyle rapping together. So there's some beats playing, and these people cultivate and practice and just rap to each other. So he has a bot that is running ciphers inside his Discord server. So people who are trying to develop their freestyle rapping skills are getting a chance to rap together in Discord, in these voice channels. And there are experts inside the community as well who come in and they help the ciphers, get them going, give them some advice. There's all this feedback, and all the community members are learning and growing together along with Harry Mack. And Harry is learning better techniques to teach how to freestyle rap, because he is wanting to spread the joy and spread the love. So the new platforms, the creator economy platforms, are all about finding ways to cultivate these true fans who are a part of the growth process and give back to the creator in a lot of ways. I've seen this in action in Doc's community as well. So all of us here in LGL, when we join the Drop Squad and we're part of this, we give Doc so much feedback on what we're learning. We have our areas of expertise. We have all these things, and we give back to him. And he grows as a content creator coach because of everything we can provide in the community. The discussions that we have in Discord, the Drop Squad classes, the gold classes, everything. They're not really classes, they're mastermind sessions of brainstorming. And the more that we as community members give Doc, the more that he can give back to us, and we are now exponentially growing. I'm going to pause for the cause. I'm going to go back in here and see what everybody's talking about. Glenda, you're saying you have 40 to 45 truly serious fans, so you're getting there. Absolutely. But that is a great start, Glenda. And that is nothing to sneeze at. Like, you're halfway there. You're living on a prayer. Take my hand. Sorry. That's how I do it. Thank you very much. My Buy Paul a beer page. You can't drink it all anymore. Free information people donate for. Okay, this is Paul, how to repair. Paul is a great example of somebody who can build a community around what he can teach, but he probably, I don't know, Paul, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's probably people who are like, oh yeah, but you know that washing machine, that Samsung washing machine, I did this trick and I was able to fix something without even replacing the part. And when you have the feedback and the growth coming in there, then here's more skills and more things that Paul can learn. And instead of having one person just at the top going, let me tell you all the things I know, you have exponential growth with all of these people. I watched a segment and I couldn't track it down. I Googled it. I tried to find it, of Mr. Beast talking about this when he was talking about creator houses. And he said, here's why creator houses are so powerful, or similar things, is because instead of one person spending a year making certain mistakes and learning only what one person can learn, when 4 or 5 people are in a group together, they are making mistakes for each other that all the other 4 people can learn from without having to waste the time of making the mistake themselves. Because learning is a process of making mistakes. So they're getting the benefit, the efficiency of scaling mistakes by being a part of a close, intimate community. And that's what you're building with your 100 True Fans. I'm just checking my notes to see if I'm covering the things that I was going to talk about, and I absolutely am not. All good. There you go. Oh, what is LGL? I'm so sorry, Mike. This is what happens when people use the acronyms. It's Let's Get Live. It's Doc Rock's creator community. And it's the channel that I'm on right now. So I figured talking about LGL would be a really good thing, you know, as being a good host and all that kind of stuff. Let's see. Paul's saying there is a Facebook community and a Discord community. Absolutely. So there's different ways. And part of your journey as a content creator and growing your community is finding a place that your people resonate with the most. Now, I spent probably 2 years trying to grow a Facebook group for FH umpires. And it was brutal. I just couldn't get any traction. I couldn't break through in anybody's news feeds in order to get the attention I needed to say, hey, we're doing this thing this weekend. Hey, our watch party is starting in an hour. Do you want to come by and join in? You're paying for this, you know. And sure, I had a few people who were a part of that, but the community wasn't strong, and it was very, I felt disconnected. I felt like I wasn't doing what made me happy, which was actually making umpires better. So when Discord came to me, it makes it sound like it's a sentient being that just like floats along and comes to you. That's not how it works. When a member of my community put Discord in front of me, a 15-year-old Dutch kid, he's like, you need this Discord server. And I was like, why? And he explained it to me. He showed me how people can interact. He showed me how we could organize information. He showed me how person to person and how much the community could be with each other and get to know each other. And I could be in that mix, but not be just lecturing or just providing this workshop or just doing these things. We could really get to know each other as umpires, as hockey fans, as people. And what that has created now is that my momentum in finding my 100 True Fans is really starting to come. The question for me now is, how do I actually get into that how do I systematize that, or how do I make business choices as to how to actually channel those particular true fans? And there's nothing really magic about the number of 100 or 1,000 or anything like that. It's about understanding that you don't have to provide everything to everyone. It's about providing a really amazing experience that is really valuable, that provides tangible benefits to a small group of people. And here's the fun part. So in my research, what I found out was the founder of Patreon was talking about this a couple years ago. And he said, we are shocked. We were shocked to learn that in 2019, half of all people who give money to content creators on Patreon, fully half of them are giving money to other creators on Patreon. You would think that all these separate tiny little sub niches of these tiny little communities, they would all be these little silos, and they would all just be like existing in the universe like stars, like solar systems, super far from each other. But actually, there's a lot more interchange and collaboration and interrelatedness going on. And people who realize that they can unbundle their social life, they can unbundle their education and unbundle their learning. Just like with your cable service, you don't need to be told what to watch. You don't need to be told which content creators you're all going to have to accept. Nay, you can find the people in the particular genres that interest you the most. And you can be a part of all of those communities. And that is very empowering for people. It allows us to be the fullest expression of who we are as people, because, I mean, for me, I love my sport. I love freestyle rap. I love Discord now. I love Apple products. I love so many other things that don't necessarily connect to each other. But I can pursue all those interests because I've unbundled my social experience and my communities and put together a package that works for me. I like that. I haven't said many smart things today, but I really do like that. I'm going with that. Okay. Hi. Thank you for leaving a like, Adrian, Book Spy. I don't know about dolls. That's why I didn't describe that very well. I don't know anything. Yes, the panini. There you go. So there's the Facebook community, but don't forget, and you know where I'm going to steer you to. I'm going to steer you to the Discord. docrock.live/Discord. And there you go. And yes, the level of value that Doc gives is the key. The level of value that I give in FH Umpires is the key. I'm trying to learn how to give that value in Discord for creators, helping creators build communities. I'm learning how to do that. And I have to work at it. It's a conscious effort. I have to figure out, what do people want from me? And it's not just by asking, what do you want from me? Because that kind of offloads a lot of work. Or have you been part of a community like that where the creator says, tell me what you want from me. Tell me what you want to learn next week. Tell me. Some people think that's a really great form of engagement, and maybe it is helpful, but I think one of the most effective forms of engagement, now finally, I'm going to get onto kind of a tactic, I guess. It's not really technique, but it's a tactic to tap into what I think is the most important form of engagement, which is pulling and tapping the value that your community has already within them and mixing that into everything that you're providing. So throughout this talk, throughout this stream, I've been saying, you tell me, like, what has worked for you? What do you think a true fan is? How many do you really need? And what are you looking for? And people are sharing their knowledge and their experience. And, for me, it's worked in various ways. But for example, when I'm on my FH Umpires live streams, I learned over the course of years that if I ask people for their opinions on the umpiring decisions that I want to present and teach about, it's amazing because I learn stuff all the time. And I have an incredibly engaged group of people. My retention graphs are flat. We're talking about umpiring, okay? You wouldn't think that over 90 minutes people would be super engaged about umpiring. I have a flat graph. No, people don't stay for the whole thing, but when they're there, they're there. And they're in it. As much as they can spend, they're there because I know how much they can give to each other and they can give to me. And I'm always bringing that out. So for me, that is the big, big tactic for creating a true fan, is acknowledging and providing an avenue for your community members to show their growth, to show what they've learned, to share their experiences. And that way, you get more things. This is meta right now, because here I am on Doc's channel talking about community growth, and I'm one of those people that he has, and he's done this with all of us, that he has invited and asked and plumbed our knowledge and our experience in ways that we can give back to the rest of the community. It's very clever. It's very, very clever. Yes, mastermind brainstorming. Absolutely fun. And I don't mean it just in the sense of brainstorming ideas. It's about teaching each other in a moment, for sure. Where are we at? Yes, building your own network, Coach Adam. That's exactly it, right? We are unbundling our growth as humans. And we don't have to do it anybody else's way. We don't have to watch all the crappy channels because there's only one that we really want to be a part of. Mike, you're saying you're an ENFP, extroverted intuition. I think everybody has various sundry interests. That's what amazes me, is that as I meet people from all over the world, I find out that they have all kinds of things. I have a friend who is, he runs Hockey World News. His name's Jade Bloomfield. I'm going to give him a shout out because I was just talking to him last night. Englishman living in Thailand, and I've written dozens of articles for his magazine over the years. And last night he messaged me and he says, so what's up with the late face-off? Just out of the blue. And I was like, face-off? What are you talking about? Because that's not a field hockey thing. And he says, well, the Calgary Flames are playing the Oilers in the playoffs, and you have a late face-off time of 8:30. What's up with that? And I was like, you know about ice hockey? And just these ways that in our networks we can connect with different interests that each other have is just so refreshing and fun. I don't think anybody is single faceted. It just doesn't exist. Just doesn't exist. Whoops. Thank you so much, Ballard Vibes. Breaking the connections down. I'm trying to help you break the connections down so you can better understand and connect better. And that's the real key, right? So as community members ourselves, we have to acknowledge our responsibility in the community. We don't get just to sit back and, like, we're not consuming. If you are consuming Doc's content, you are doing it wrong. I love you, but you're doing it wrong. because it's not about just being passive. It's about engaging with, activating on, giving feedback on, learning from, building on, showing somebody else how to do it. That is the power of what we're doing here together. Okay, so it doesn't matter what your tool is going to be. Okay, I happen to love Discord and I think it's awesome. It's given me the chance to get to know my community in ways that I didn't even think possible. Maybe your Facebook groups are working amazingly. Maybe Mighty Networks is the place for you, or Circle, or Heartbeat, or something like that. But it's hard to do this in a marketplace setting. It's hard to really connect with people over YouTube. When I watch the big creators, like the Daniel Batals and the Roberta Blakes and the Lilas and people like that, they build their community through interacting one-on-one in a community setting on something like Twitter. So, but that, that can be a little bit of a tough place because you're still trying to break through that marketplace of all the people out there who want to talk to Roberta Blake. So instead, when you have a place, an exclusive place, a safe place where your culture is defined, where you get to control how it all works, where you have your topics and you have your moderators and you have your community leaders, you can provide an environment where you can safely and meaningfully engage with all of your folk. So I think finding the platform that works for you is key, and don't be afraid to try a few because you might not hit it out of the park the first time. And Adam, if you haven't been engaging with Adam's content, I would highly recommend it. Adam is putting out content. I think you're doing 5 days a week, if I've got that right. He's a podcast coach, so if you're into podcasting and you want to learn more about it, he has dulcet tones. So go check Adam's YouTube channel for sure. Oh, I have a question. There's no Q colon, but I found it. Walter Strong 2 wants to know what tips I'd offer a person who loves live streaming on YouTube and you want to grow your audience, but you're also an introvert. That's a great question because I think a lot of people, for example, might look at somebody like me and say, well, clearly Keely's an extrovert, but I'm not. I'm not an extrovert. I am right down the line. I'm right in the middle of being an extrovert and introvert. So when I'm in this environment, I seem like an extrovert, but that's because I've learned that, like Walter, I'm talking to you right now. This isn't, I have no idea how many people are watching this, and I don't care because right now you have something that you want to hear from me, and I want to understand if I'm giving you a good answer or not. And this is our connection right now. And when I approach live streams like that, and that's what I think is one of the biggest powers of live streaming for introverts, is that you do get these individual comments and then you realize, ooh, I'm connecting with one person now. I can do this. I can do this. I can answer this person's question. I can get into this person's head. And I don't have to see 50 people sitting around me who are all just, I have no idea. But Walter, you're there. I think the mindset of talking to that one person who you want to help, that is what is the power of an introvert and a way you can maximize that for sure. It's a lot easier to engage on live streams than it is in real life for me these days. I absolutely love it. Let me know if that helped. And if anybody else has some tips for Walter, I would love to hear them. Of course. That's what I'm here. And there you go. See, Obs, thank you for sharing your experience because this is very valuable. Most live streamers that Obs knows are introverts. Anecdotal, but I believe it. I absolutely believe it because this to me, I'm sitting in I've got my art around me. I've got comfy cushions. I'm like, and if everything really goes wrong, I can just hit the end button and I can spend 5 hours not talking to anybody, and I can recharge what extroversion I've used up. So there you go. Let's see. It simply blew your mind when you heard that about introversions. There you go. Paul, you can really speak to this, right? You think a lot of people start streaming as an introvert and then you move more to the middle. Well, you're learning skills, right? You're practicing skills. And I think what introverts maybe don't spend as much time on that extroverts do is getting practice with that empathy and learning, okay, what does that person that I'm speaking to, what do they really want from me? What can they get from me? How can I give to them? And then you stop thinking about yourself. It's not about whether you're stringing your words together properly, whether you're organized enough, whether you had to do a hard reset of your computer 2 minutes before the stream started. All that stuff goes away. And I'm in that moment now because I've been thinking about what Paul's been saying and what he's gone through and what his experiences are, because he's part of my community and I've learned about him. Obs, I know her story. Maybe not everything, but I know a lot of things about her story. I know who she is. I know what she's gone through. I know where she is on her journey. So when I see her comments, I can just more fully engage with that. And it's not about me anymore. Who cares? Right? It's about you. Glenda's a total extrovert. And that's totally fine. There's room for all of this. There's room for all of this. But I think for Walter, you're going to have no problem at all. Because if you feel as strongly as all of us do about what we can do for other people, how we serve, as Doc says, purpose is an analgesic. So if you're serving your purpose, the pain of feeling, introverted, closed off, not connecting with people, just take 1 or 2 tablets of purpose and you'll be fine. Okay. So for me, it comes down to understanding that here in the creator economy that we're all in, is that the deeper the connections we can make within our community, the more value we're able to provide for people, and the smaller of a community that we need in order to create our value in our industry. And we can all do this for each other. Everybody's got something to give, and we have all these little overlapping, they're not solar systems anymore. They're little just, next door little nebulas of people who interrelate, all these little Venn diagrams, but in a 3-dimensional space. What is that? I don't know. This is what we're building in the creator economy. And the more you bring your people into the process and you take advantage of all the things that they have to give, the stronger your community is. And those people who resonate with you, who share your purpose, who share your goals, share your passions, they will be your true fans. And they will be the people whom you can make a part of your journey, I think. It's easy, right? Oops, I have to put that up. 1 or 2 tablets of purpose. Just every 6 to 8 hours, don't go nuts, okay? You don't want to OD on the old purpose. It's not good for you. There you go. It's shirtable. It's shirtable, right? I want to hear what Obs has to say here. It's funny, when you were at your 3rd hospital in speech therapy, your therapist asked, you do not seem like an introvert. You talk to everyone. Well, you were learning a new way of being, which is fantastic. And thank you, Glenda. Let us know when you're going to stream. It's a wonderful thing to see friendly faces, avatars, and names out there. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. So I hope you got something out of this exchange. I'm really glad that you came along for this journey, and I want to hear more about this. I want to hear about, what else can we what else can we talk about? How we, what can we put in place to grow our own communities? I think being able to ask for the expertise of your community members and whatever it is that you're doing is a massive, massive part of developing your true fans and developing your creator purpose. So that's central. But what can you do in your community? And if you don't know, let's talk about it. I don't know how much is happening today with, given that Doc is on holidays, but do we need the teacher to be around in order to do everything? We can go into the Drop Squad Discord channels and we can talk about this stuff ourselves, because you might be thinking about one of your fellow creators. Okay, here we go. I got it. All right, homework. We know each other. We know what each other's goals are. We know what our communities are and what our purpose is. So your job is to come up with one idea for one of your community friends. What can they do in their live streams, in their recorded videos, in their servers, in their Facebook group, whatever it is, to grow some engagement? Okay? That's the homework. I just came up with that, just on the fly. There you go. There's the link again. And D, one of the regulars on your streams, loves the cooking hacks that you share. So when you're about to do something, you'll like to say, this is for, and sorry, my thing is cutting you off. If I do that, will that work? No, it's the wrong size. Let me continue what D is saying here. This is for you, Tori. Absolutely. And what you're doing, D, is that you're reaching out to that one person. It's that exchange with that one person that's so valuable. And it's probably for more than just Tori. There's a lot of people who can benefit from it, but you are able to make that positive connection. And I've watched you. There are people in your community who come back and say, oh, I know this amazing way to grill chicken, by the way. I know you're doing it this way, but here, have you ever tried it like this? And you go, oh my God, I haven't. I've got to try that. Or, okay, grilling chicken's a terrible idea. But you understand. I will frequently in my live streams ask the umpires and say, I don't know how to explain this very well. Do any of you have some better words for me? Do you have, how do you understand it? How would you explain it to me? And I ask them, and then they help me get smarter. It's really, really amazing. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And thank you, Adam. I really appreciate it. Look, I've been so fortunate to have found this community in particular. I'm in a couple, but this community in particular, I've learned so much from all of you. And that's why I feel, as much as I'm always nervous about coming on, especially a community of this size and something that Doc has entrusted me to. But when I start getting in the swing of it, and I realize that even if there's one person, if I can just help Walter today and I can give him something that he takes to his community, then it's all worth it. I feel great. If OBS there's one thing that encourages her as well, or that she's learned, I'm done. Mission accomplished. People always do love hearing their own name. Absolutely. Okay, Tuesday, Doc is going to be back. And even though there aren't formal classes running today in the Zooms or the LGL server, there is nothing stopping all of us from going in there and doing our homework and giving each other some engagement ideas. So I'll post something up in the Drop Squad. Paul will probably drop a link, because I said the magic words, Drop Squad, to how y'all can sign up if you're not part of the Drop Squad yet. Just saying, it's kind of the best. Don't want to lie. There you go. And mission accomplished, says Ops. Thank you very much. And thank you, Doc, for the opportunity, as always. And we'll see you around in the Discord server. Bye, everybody.